Debanned. What? Hello everyone and welcome to Anything Geek. My name is Zero and we need to talk about this ban. So last week Bandai, through their official socials, released a statement that from now on and for an undefined amount of time, 3 new cards have been added to the ban list. And those cards are Nami from OPO1, Edward Newgate from OPO2, and Curly Dadan from OPO2 as well. Now, if you don't know those cards, that's okay. I'm just gonna give a quick reminder to everyone of what each of those cards do. And we'll start with Nami, which is a card from OPO1 numbered 16. It's a 1-cost 2000 power with a counter of 1000. And an on-play effect, look at the 5 card from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat type cards other than Nami, add it to your hand and place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's a searcher. Basic searcher. If you look back at the banned list, the next is OPO2001 Edward Newgate, and this actually corresponds to the Newgate leader and not the character. So we have here the first instance of a leader being banned from any event of the One Piece card game. And of course, I mean, it's a 6k power, so you need to add Dawn in order to boost and attack that leader. But it also has 6 life, and the downside to all that is at the end of your turn you can add 1 card from the top of your life to your hand, and they thought it was a downside enough that this leader would be balanced, which is not, because it's still a 6k power, you need to boost in order to attack, so the price of entry to deal damage to the leader is fairly high. But also it has 6 lives, so that's 6 turns that it's gonna be able to draw an additional cards in his hand, and after that Newgate can just turtle his way into victory. Lots of counter, lots of blockers, and you can basically tank all the damage incoming to your life, and with the last shred of life that you have, go all in into your opponents and basically swipe their boards and wreck their life. And the last card that was banned is actually Curly Dadan. So on play, look at the top 5 cards from your deck and reveal up to 1 red character with a cost of 1, add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is a searcher as well, 2 cost 3k power, easily boostable to get more power on the board, and those 3 cards were very prominent in, well, not in a lot of deck because the Newgate is actually the leader, but it was in every tournament. Basically any deck that you wanted to have a chance in any tournament, you played Whitebeard, and the other cards you need as searcher for basically any deck, because that's a Curly Dadan is a red searcher, you can search for the Nami, and then Nami can search for Straw Hats, and Straw Hats are all over the place, especially in red, so you need those cards to search and make the deck competitive. Now, previously they had restricted Radical Beam to 1 per deck, as well as the character Newgate to 1 per deck, and I believe they also banned the previous Marco, but this one is restricted to 1 per deck, and that was the only Marco that we had left. His effect is actually, during your turn and on play, you can KO up to 1 of your opponent's character with 3000 power or less. It's a 5 cost, 6k power with a counter of 1000, and on KO, so during the opponent's turn, so you cannot reuse the on-play effect, but during your opponent's turn, when this card is KO, you may trash 1 event from your hand, and you may play this character card from your trash rested. And I get it was used in a lot of decks, but restricting this and banning the other thing is also preventing any other deck at being relevant. I was building VV for like a week and a half, and this card is very good in this deck, and it's one of the only tools that I can really use to be relevant with a VV deck, and now that's impossible. I just have 1 Marco, and I had 3 previously. Not only that, but VV, you have to build Straw Hats for red, because Alabasta is kind of meh at the moment, so you have to build Straw Hats for red, and now you don't even have the Nami to search for the cards that you need, and you don't even have Curly Dadan to try and search for Igaram, which search the Alabasta Kingdom thing. And what's strange about this is OPO5 will bring so much to the game that those decks are apparently gonna slow down, because the Japanese meta we already know. We've known for like several months now, and they haven't banned anything for Japan. So why now? Why for the global do we get all those bans coming our way when Japan can go and do whatever they want with their deck build process? Not only that, but this also raised the question of how are they gonna handle rotation in this game. And if you don't know what it is, it's okay. Rotation is how a game get cards out of the meta to bring new ones. For instance, I believe Pokemon you can play up to 2 or 3 sets back from the previous set in any tournament, and I think Magic does kind of a similar thing. Those games are so old, of course you're not gonna be able to go and play all the former cards that went out when the game came out. So yeah, this seems like a weird choice for them to make. The meta was gonna be refreshed this December 8th because we will have OPO 5 coming here very soon. And another thing to consider is the Nami is actually included in the starter deck 10. So you're gonna buy a product with a playset of a cards that you cannot play anymore. That's the... Why? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. I get that they want diversity in all the tournaments and you want to see original deck and original stuff get played and stuff like that, but with the tools you're giving the players, they're not allowed to do that. Also, like, we have Searcher in other colors that do exactly what Nami does, so what about them? Also, like, meta-wise, Katakuri is now the king. It's left unchecked by any other deck. It cannot be dealt with. So what about him? If anything, I think this is a cry for help from Bandai because they create 2 strong cards for OPO1 and now they don't know how to deal with them. But yeah, feels bad for any red players and feels bad for any Straw Hat player that just want to play Straw Hats, not even Whitebeard or whatever. They can't have a Searcher now. And I mean, banning a leader straight out, like, that's tough. Now, of course, there are alternatives to the character cards that have been banned, like the Nami you can swap with into use a Chao Bandi, but it's less good than Nami because Nami you get a body on the board, and with red you want to aggro your opponent and get as much thing on the board as possible, and if a Nami is just sitting there at some point and you can boost her with a Machino or something like that, and you can boost her with some Dons, then that's 1 body more on the board that you can use to attack into your opponent, and you don't get that with into use a Chao Bandi because it's just an event. So yeah, we'll have to see what the meta does with this and how it's gonna change, but I think it's fair to say that it's gonna be Katakuri all over the place. Instead of Whitebeard, you're gonna have Katakuri and maybe Doflamingo from OPO 4. It's fairly good as a leader. It has like good decks going with it. But anyway, tell me what you think about this ban and this restriction in the comments down below. Do you agree with that? Are you against this ban and restrict? What cards other than those would you have banned if you had a need to ban something? Let me know all that in the comment section below. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. And if you're still here, that means the video was at the very least entertaining to you. So please leave a like to the memory of all the red players and Whitebeard. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to never miss anything geek. Bye guys!